every automated workflow starts with a messy human process. In this topic, we'll learn how to uncover what really happens, organize that work into tasks and decisions, and identify where Regrello AI can reduce coordination effort. So far, we've built the foundation: what Regrello AI is, why it matters operationally, and the shared language of tasks, approvals, data, exceptions, and automation. Now we'll turn that knowledge into design practice by shaping workflows that AI can assist, monitor, and improve. Before you automate, you need to see how work really happens. Discovery starts with the current process, including the steps people do outside official documentation. That reveals hidden handoffs, manual follow-ups, delays, bottlenecks, and workarounds. Once those patterns are visible, the team can model the workflow accurately and ask the right question. Is this a process problem or a system configuration problem? From there, AI opportunities become clearer. Optimize the messy parts first, and automate only what is stable, understood, and worth improving. Current state mapping is about capturing reality, not the ideal procedure. Start with the trigger, then follow the work through to completion. Record each major step: decision, approval, handoff, system update, and data transfer. Pay close attention to delays, informal messages, exception paths, and rework loops, because those are often where performance breaks down. Finally, validate the map with the people doing the work every day. Managers may know the policy, but frontline teams know the shortcuts, workarounds, and friction points that shape the real process. As you map the process, don't stop at the official steps. The biggest friction often sits between them. A handoff shows where accountability moves from one person, team, supplier, or system to another. A delay means something is waiting, perhaps for information, approval, ownership, or a status check. Communication channels show how coordination actually happens. If work depends on email threads, spreadsheets, chat messages, or recurring meetings, the process may be fragmented. These signals point directly to improvements: clearer task ownership, automated reminders, better visibility, and AI summaries that reduce manual coordination. Real-world workflows almost never stay on the happy path. Missing data, rejected approvals, supplier delays, compliance flags, incomplete documents, or urgent requests can all force a different route. The goal is not to model every possible edge case. Focus on variants that happen often, or create real risk, cost, or delay. These variants may be driven by region, product, customer type, risk level, or business unit. Good exception design also defines escalation rules, fallback owners, required evidence, and where AI can recommend the next best action. Once the real process is visible, workflow decomposition turns it into something teams can manage. Start by separating the work into meaningful tasks, approvals, decisions, and information requests. Then assign ownership, so every step has someone accountable for completion or review. Next, define dependencies. What must be finished, approved, or received before another step can begin? Finally, mark milestones that show progress and create checkpoints for improvement. The result is a workflow model that is easier to track, automate, diagnose, and refine over time. A workflow becomes manageable when every task is defined as a concrete action, not a broad responsibility. For each action, specify what information is needed, who is accountable, and what proves completion. The owner may be a role, a team, a vendor, or someone assigned by a condition, but there should still be one clear point of accountability. That clarity lets the workflow route work, send reminders, escalate delays, and measure performance. It also prevents handoff confusion, because everyone knows what they owe, what they need, and how success will be judged. Dependencies turn a process from a checklist into a controlled flow. A task may wait for another to finish, start at the same time, or run in parallel until work converges at a decision point. Due dates add the time rules: a fixed calendar date, a deadline triggered by an event, or an SLA clock that starts when work enters a step. Milestones then package related tasks into meaningful phases, such as review complete or approval reached. Once this logic is modeled, the system can warn early, escalate risk, and measure cycle time accurately. Forms are where workflow intelligence begins. They turn messy human input into data the system can act on. The goal is not to collect everything. It is to capture the minimum fields needed to route work, make a decision, prove compliance, and create visibility. Structured fields matter because values like priority, region, due date, and risk category can trigger rules and analytics. When forms are designed around user intent, the downstream workflow gets cleaner data, better AI summaries, stronger recommendations, and more reliable reporting. AI opportunities often hide in the coordination work around the core process. Look for places where people chase updates, send reminders, ask what changed, or manually piece together status. Those are strong candidates for AI support. Also look for long threads, documents, tickets, or histories that someone must summarize before acting. AI can compress that context. Then examine prioritization. Overdue items, risk signals, exceptions, and decisions about what needs attention next. The aim is not to remove human judgment. It is to reduce coordination friction, surface the right information, and help people make accountable decisions faster. After mapping coordination pain points, pattern match the opportunity. Some work is information heavy, long documents, missing details, or scattered context. AI can compress that into a reviewable summary. Other work is reporting, progress, blockers, and workflow health that need to be explained regularly. Decision support is different. Here, AI helps compare cases, flag risk, and suggest next actions. Finally, consistency patterns use AI to check completeness and guide people through required steps. Across every pattern, the human role stays essential. Validate outputs, judge context, and own the decision. Automation prioritization should be practical, not exciting for its own sake. Start where work is frequent, repeatable, and governed by clear rules, because those areas create value quickly and expose fewer surprises. Then test feasibility. Do you have usable data, stable systems, clear process ownership, and stakeholders ready to change? Avoid automating messy judgment calls until roles, rules, and exception paths are explicit. The best approach is phased. Deliver a quick win, learn from real usage, adjust the workflow, and then expand into more strategic automation opportunities with confidence. At this point, the process model becomes an implementation blueprint. Every workflow element should be explicit. The trigger, tasks, owners, dependencies, forms, due dates, approvals, milestones, and exception paths. The blueprint should also flag where AI can help, such as summarizing context, routing work, updating status, or supporting decisions. Before configuration begins, validate it with process owners, frontline users, compliance, and IT administrators. This review turns the model from a documentation artifact into a shared operating design, ready for Regrello configuration and later optimization. Strong automation starts with strong workflow modeling. First, discover how work really happens. Handoffs, delays, approvals, exceptions, and communication. Then decompose the process into tasks, owners, dependencies, forms, due dates, and milestones. From there, AI can support routing, reviews, reporting, and decisions. Next, we'll apply this foundation to approvals, escalations, configuration, and adoption.